Alrighty, what's up guys? Matt here from Loon Outdoors, and today we're trying a little steelhead muddler. In the vise I have a Firehole Sticks shank. You can use a Senyo shank, cut a hook off, aquafly shank. Really kind of sky's the limit here. There's not a lot of things you can't use for this fly. So I'm going to start it off, and I'm just using some 100D Veevus. I dig that thread quite a bit for some bigger stuff on occasion. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by kind of just half hitching a Firehole Stick 714. This is a little Intruder style hook. And I'm just using some Senyo's laser wire or shank wire. I like it just because it sits nice and solid for the fly. I'm going to go ahead and find my old scissors, not my new ones, and trim this off. If you have a pair of arrow points, it also works really great. So I'm going to go ahead and put this hook point down, and that seems to work well in a lot of cases where I'm tying kind of more of a winged fly, if you will. So once I get up front here, go ahead and double that over, make an adjustment on the trim there. And I'm going to use a little bit of this Brite number 4. It's a hot Brite thread. Dig it, just kind of gives the fish something different to look at. And all I do here is I double it over, so there's 2 strands. Then I double it over again, try to get it kind of sort of even. Doesn't have to be perfectly even, just kind of a sort of. And this is just going to create a little bit of an adjunct hot spot for you to give to the fish. Don't let go of the ends, never good. And I'll just go ahead and wrap that up, and we'll go ahead and just tie it there. Whoops, missed a section there. From there, what I'm going to put in is let's have a little bit of UV eye stub in hot pink. This is ICE 133 from Hairline. And all I'm going to do is kind of stack this and build a little bit of a cool tag down below here. So a little flash, a little bit of a hot spot, kind of just all blends together good in the world. We are kind of rocking double hot spots on this. It doesn't really seem to matter. Fish enjoy it. So once we do that, we're going to get some of our, this is a fin Raccoon from Hairline. This is a zonker cut, and this is just in purple. And I'm just going to kind of take a healthy portion, maybe about ½ inch of this, and that's going to kind of just become, we might thin that out just a hair. Take some of the guard furs out from underneath. So this will become kind of our tail of our fly. And I'm just going to go ahead and wrap back. And these are really, really tight turns. And again, this is where I feel like the 100D versus my normal 50D Veevus that I tie with really starts to excel and be really good. So next up, I'm going to take a purple colored guinea fowl. This happens to be like lavender. It's a cool steelhead color. I'm running with like some various shades here just because I feel like it's really important just to have a few different shades of color on a fly. Double this guy back. It's going to become a collar to help us kind of stand up here, so I'm not really worried about anything. And I'm just going to simply palmer this guy forward. Pretty bulky. I didn't strip it at all. I've left it nice and thick. You can sometimes, if you want a thinner effect, you trim off 1/2 side. Not needed here. So I'm going to use my brush, kind of try to separate out those barbules. See, it's got a pretty good amount of mass right now. It's not very heavy. It's still going to be easy to cast. And so next up, I'm going to use this guy. This is an American saddle hackle from Whiting. It's a cool feather, and I'm just going to pick two friends roughly the same size, and we'll run with those guys. So what I'm going to use these guys as, I'm going to kind of try to pare them down just a bit, is I'm just going to make this like a little pectoral fin. So you can see what I've done there. I've just made this like a cool little pectoral fin. Is it totally necessary? No. Does it make me feel warm and cuddly inside? Yeah. And a lot of times when you're steelhead fishing, the fly that you feel the most warm and cuddly about, you keep it in the water the longest. And hopefully you're in the right place at the right time. And that warm and cuddly feeling translates to a steelhead on the end of your line. You won't catch them on shore. They're only going to be in the river. So you can see it kind of creates this really cool, as this goes through different water, it's going to kind of pop and move, create a little bit of false movement there. So I don't remember, this is just like a predator wrap, and I think it's just like a clear black with UV. To me it looks like black and clear with some UV, and I just add a little bit of this in there. Again, it's not a ton. And you can see the way I put it in there, I almost wrap it around the shank. More so on the top, but save the other half of that for your next fly. And then I'm just going to add in just a few little, it's kind of like an intruder. You can't get away from it just having a few. Pull out all the bad ends. Ostrich fibers in there. Doesn't ever hurt. And I want them just to barely extend past the guinea. And there's no weight on this fly. I kind of enjoy the fact that you can add weight to this. You could put a set of dumbbells on it. A lot of times I don't stress over that as much and use a good sink tip to get you down. This guy does not belong. He doesn't have a tip on him. Again, that's kind of just that faith thing there. So next up, I'm just going to use some purple deer hair. The only time I really use the purple deer hair is for steelhead muddlers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'll go through it, bust out all the weaker portions. I'm going to put this in our hair stacker. You can see the tips down in there already. And I'll go ahead and stack that a few times. And I'm kind of just getting to my position. This is all super secure through here to where I want to do my big wraps. And I'm just kind of going over everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here in no specific order. And right now you don't want it, you want to take a few loose wraps, and then you're going to come in and flare. Once you have that, you can come back in and flare this guy out. And I'll move forward here. And I don't mind a little bit of extra, not stressed out over it. So you can use razor blades on this. I'm currently out of razor blades. Storage that I was at, we're out of razor blades. So I'm going to go about this kind of the old school methodology here. That's not my good hair scissor. That is the junk scissor. So even what I'm calling a junk scissor still hunts pretty darn well. So right now my vise is kind of a rotary vise. I am going to flatten out just a little bit here extra on the bottom, not too much, but you guys can see I'm building a nice taper up. It's going to create a nice profile as this moves through the water. And just kind of, it's going to collapse a little bit. You get some good fin action in here. And the collar's a little bit bulbous, but it does push down, creates a lot of disturbance and movement. And in my opinion, I think the unweighted fly fished on a sink tip, especially one with that of deer hair, might move around just a little bit more. I can keep messing with that. I'd fish it the way it is. It's a box fly. It's not made for Instagram. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.